Hey there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to the Dr. Geneva Speaks show live. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to have a great conversation today. The class is about reinventing yourself in the five steps to reinvent yourself. And this question came in from one of my followers here. We were doing a master class last week. We got a terrific question. And so I'm here today to answer that question. Before we get started, I would love to know where you're watching from. Please drop it in the chat, say hello. Um, let's get it going on LinkedIn, YouTube, IG, TikTok. Hey y'all, how you doing? So great to see you. Facebook. And my question today came in from Clue Girl 41. And that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to be talking about the steps to reinvention. Oh, it's a great topic. I just love it. But I'm also going to be talking about what happens when you don't reinvent yourself, and you know you should. You know, when there's that change coming and that change is there, and you know you need to change, but you don't. What are some of the consequences of not acting? So we're going to talk about all that today. But I wanted to say again, good morning. How you all doing? Cindy and uh, Fiker, how are you? So good to see you, Joan. It's so wonderful this morning. Now, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but I can tell you here in Detroit, it is raining. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it outside my window, but it is coming down. And we had some tornadoes in the area, and there was some areas in Michigan that were just really hit hard. So wherever you are, I hope you're staying safe. Let me know what's going on. If you have questions, please drop it in the comments. I heard today, Alexa told me today that I have mine set to when there's those, little trivia things and pieces of information you want to know about. And today I understand is Marvin Gaye's birthday. Oh my goodness, one of my favorites. What's going on? One of my favorite artists. Today is his birthday. Oh, yes. So we definitely appreciate his music, his richness, and all of that. One of the things I've always wanted to do is to be able to sing. I can't carry a note, not a tune, nothing. But I love and admire those who do, especially those tenors out there. You know, hey, they've got beautiful voices. Okay, we're going to get. Yes, hello. Hey, oh my goodness, we have so many people joining us from TikTok, IG. We're going to get started because we're going to talk about the steps in reinventing yourself. And this question, I'm doing this class today because it came from one of my followers last week. So listen, if you've been thinking about making a change, but not sure how to get started, this is for you. So last week during the master class, Clue Girl 41, how are you? I hope you out there, Clue Girl. Asked a question I really do hear all the time. What are the first steps to take when you want to start a new career or reinvent your life? And I said to myself, hey, that's the question. And the moment, the one where you start asking, what's next for me? Because whether you're over 50 or feeling stuck or just simply ready for something more, that moment What's next for me? It matters. And how you respond to that question could really change everything. So I want to say hello to those of you who might not know me. I'm Dr. Geneva. I work with high achieving women over 50 who are ready to figure out what's next in their life and career. And I've reinvented myself more than once, personally and professionally. I've led multi-million dollar organizations. I've started over after big shifts and major life transitions. And I've navigated more than a few turning points of my own after 50. So if you've been wondering what it actually looks like to reinvent your life and career without blowing everything up, I'm going to break it down for you step by step. Now, sometimes reinvention means big moves, and sometimes it's just a small shift in direction, a major pivot, or little things. Either way, this isn't theory that I'm going to be talking about. It's the real deal experience. And I'll also share what not enough people talk about, and that's what can happen if you don't make a move at all. Because staying stuck, that has a cost too. So, before I share the 5 breakthrough steps to reinvent yourself, I want to be honest about that thing that I just said people don't talk about, the cost of doing nothing. Because doing nothing, really is a decision now. And so, for many high achieving women in midlife, staying where you are isn't like neutral, it's risky. And so, what does inaction, not doing anything when you know you should be making some change, what does inaction cost us? Well, first, stagnation. You really stop growing. What you do, your work feels routine, and your spirit really starts shrinking. There's burnout, that low grade stress that you can get becomes exhaustion. And you can't remember the last time you felt truly inspired. Missed opportunities are also the cost of not doing anything. Doors stay closed, not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't knock. Irrelevance. I hear this all the time from women in their 50s, 60s, 70s. How can I stay relevant? Or they feel that they don't matter anymore. And if you don't do anything, if you don't make those changes, you're not growing. And the world continues to move fast, you start falling behind. The other cost of reinventing or not reinventing, that is, making the decision not to do anything when you know you should, is regret. You look up years from now and realize you didn't bet on yourself. You didn't take those steps when you could have. And finally, I just want to let you know that inaction does bring some financial costs. The insecurity, financial insecurity, because you do risk missing future income and profitability because you didn't plan your next move. So I wanted to lay those costs of not doing something. Hopefully, they'll um, inspire you, convince you to stay with me, and let's listen to these steps that you can take to make your breakthrough. And I've coached and mentored women who've waited too long, not because they didn't care, but really because fear felt safer than movement, action. And by the time they got tired of being tired, they realized how much harder it had become to shift. So, listen, I'm talking to you out there. If you're sitting there thinking, maybe later, maybe I'll do it later, I want to ask you, later at what cost? Now, I want you to know I've been there too. I was in a position where, I had a great reputation. Folks knew my name. I'd been in this organization for a long, long time. It was solid. But deep down, I kind of knew I had outgrown it, but I didn't want to admit it at first. I kept saying to myself, I'll deal with that later. Or maybe next year I'll make a change. You know how we do. Okay. Truth is, I passed on a number of good opportunities to make a move. I kept holding on because it was comfortable and I was respected in what I was doing. But eventually, I had to get real with myself and say, this isn't it anymore. And I'll tell you what I learned. Staying somewhere you've outgrown has its own consequences. You lose energy, excitement, vision. And the longer you stay in a situation, in a career, even in a relationship, the harder it feels to move. So, if any part of what I've been talking about so far hits home with you, just know I get it. I know where you are. And that's why I want to walk you through these 5 steps today for you to get started on your reinvention, your change, whether it's a new career, a new passion you really want to pursue, a new relationship, whatever it is. These are 5 steps that I want to bring to you. Um, and to tell you that I know that once I stopped putting off the maybe laters, that's when things really started to shift. And, I just want you to know that the steps that we're going to talk about today, I wanted to send that extra shout out to Clue Girl. I don't know. Let me see if she's here with us. I don't know. Oh, I think Clue Girl is here on YouTube from DC. I want you to know that this masterclass is for you because you asked this question last time. And your question was, what steps do you recommend taking when starting a new career or reinvention phase? And that's what we're going to do now. Step 1, this is a breakthrough step. Step 1, check your energy. All right. Now, this is the first step. And it's not about updating your resume, which is something you probably typically hear. And it's not about you brushing up and tightening up your LinkedIn profile either. This is something most people don't think about, they skip it. But it's one of the most important things you can do before making a move. And I found this out the hard way. You got to check your energy. Ask yourself, what's giving me energy right now? What's draining me? Like really draining me, even if I'm good at it. And the one where I knew that I had to make a change, when I asked myself, what do I dread doing on Sunday night? Because I found myself really not looking forward to starting the week where I was. And that's a signal. And what happens is your energy levels drop. I know mine did when I thought about Monday morning. And another thing you can ask yourself that helps check your energy level is what is it that when I finish, I think I could do that again? even for free. These are questions that can give you clues into your energy level because, we really don't stop and think about how things are really affecting us because you can't build your next move, your next chapter, your next change off of burnout. You need to know what fuels you and what's, you know, the things that give you that energy and the things that take the energy away. And I know that doing this step really changed things for me. I saw that some of what, I was known for and people came to me for advice for, it just wasn't filling me up anymore. It wasn't giving me energy. I was showing up out of habit, not from my heart. And so before we talk about new titles and big plans and new jobs to move, I want you to really think about what fills your cup and what empties it too. All right. And that's what I want you to do before you take your steps for reinvention. Okay. Any questions that you have, remember, questions, put them in the chat because we're going to have a Q&A at the end of this. All right. So breakthrough step number 2, try on a new identity. Mhm. Now, this might feel a little strange for you at first, but I want you to start showing up like the woman you're becoming. Okay? Now, this is going to be tricky, but I want you to practice it. And this isn't the woman you were or the woman you are now, not the one that everybody expects you to be, but the woman that you dream of becoming, whatever that change is. And you don't have to wait for a job title or permission to act like this, to try on your new identity. So, Dr. Geneva, how we do that? Well, you start introducing yourself differently. You start thinking about yourself and moving like a version of what you're growing into. Now, I know it might seem awkward at first, but this is very powerful. It's a very powerful technique. Um, I started doing this a lot when I moved from the nonprofit world into entrepreneurship because I was going to be a businesswoman. So the language that I used, how I talked about things in the nonprofit world, we talk about money as revenue. In the business world, we talk about it more as income. And so just that, simple switch in language was different and was I started picking up the lingo and the language and it became very powerful and I was using the language aligned with where I was going. And things started to shift because my mind was different. Do y'all understand this concept, what I'm talking about? Let me know in the chat. And the more I believed it, the more others believed it too. Okay. So I was projecting, who I was becoming. I remember a time when I wanted to be the first female. Well, I wasn't that it was female, but I wanted to be the head of United Way in Detroit. It had never been done that there was a female, and I wanted that, and so I started thinking of myself in that role and how I walked, how I talked, the conversations I brought up, the questions I raised in meetings, because my level of thinking switched from the specific position that I was in at the time to this higher, the top position, and my perspective became broader. Trust, it works. It really does. And so ask yourself, what would it look like for you to show up like the next version of you this week? Try it. I want you to. Breakthrough step number 3, one of my favorites. But then you're going to hear, I'm going to say that about every step. So it's all right. But breakthrough step number 3 that you want to do as you're moving towards reinventing yourself is find your sweet spot. Now, this is all about getting clear on, who you are and what actually fits you now. Okay. So, what I mean by that is who you are now, what really makes a difference for you now. So, you're very self aware. And I call this your sweet spot. And the sweet spot is when those 3 things come together. You know what you're good at, who you are, you know what you enjoy, and you understand what the world needs, other people actually need or will pay for. Okay? So and it's when these 3 pieces come together, that's your sweet spot. And here's the thing, you don't have to figure out the entire picture, have all the answers, but I want you to start noticing where those 3 different areas connect. When you and here's the special secret in that. When you do that, you realize that you don't have to start from scratch. Yeah, because what you're thinking about, hear me now, what you're thinking about is, well, what am I good at? Okay, and you take some time with that and you think about what is it that I enjoy? Those 2 things alone, you're going to remember, reflect, recognize, acknowledge a whole lot that you already have. So that's another secret in the process of finding your sweet spot. I know when I looked at that, I realized, hey, I don't have to start from the beginning. I got a lot of stuff going on. I just started putting those pieces together differently. Okay. And if you now, as I'm talking about this, if you want help in mapping any or all of this out, don't forget to grab the Reinvention Strategic Action Plan. There's a QR code for it. There's a link in the description, in the comments. It walks you through this whole process and it's free. Okay. So that's a good one. Find your sweet spot. And all of us got a sweet spot. Okay. Breakthrough step number 4. Pay attention to what comes easy. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire talk about easy to you. Now, this one might surprise you, but basically, what I'm suggesting to you is that you notice what comes naturally to you. We overlook our best strengths. Trying to say it. Let me try that again. We overlook our best strengths. Got it? Because we've been doing them for so long. We don't even think they're special. So, but what is it that people thank you for? What they assume you're great at? That's not random. Those aren't random signals. They are intentional. That's what people see about you. Now, you might not recognize it. I used to get it all of the time. People used to say to me, "Oh, Dr. Geneva, you can talk, and you got up there and showed us this and explained that, or you have a way with solving problems. How do you just take that, or you can look to the future and think about outcomes and insights and these things I would hear people say, and I'd be like, yeah, well, that's what I do. But the thing is, that's special. That comes easy and naturally. And each one of us everybody got that, and have several things that come easy and natural to us. And those are signals. And so here's what you can do. You can ask yourself, well, what do people ask you for help with? That's a good one. What do you do without overthinking? And that's a big one, because many of us are overthinkers. But think about some of those things, reflect on some of those things that you can do without overthinking. They come just naturally to you, okay? What seems simple to you, but hard for everyone else? Okay. Are you getting the idea about why, as you're thinking about making a change, it's important to stop and think about and reflect on those things that come to you easy? Because all of these things are going to leave clues for you. There's signals for you for what you can, what you should be doing in your change and how you change. And I know for me, once I started owning and recognizing the fact that there are some things that I do that are simple and easy for me, doors opened up that I hadn't even seen before. I added different lines of services into my business. I started teaching classes on subjects that I didn't have to prepare for. I can just like this, I can just rap to you about it, just talk to you about it. And that's the goal that you have. What are those things that come easy and natural to you? The fifth step that I want you to think about and consider as you're making the steps, the moves to a new career or reinventing yourself is to do something before you're 100% ready. Now, this one, this is the one that I'm constantly working with the women I coach on. And that's because I had to work on myself about it as well. This was one of the biggies before me, because I felt that everything had to be perfect, in order, 100% spot on. Okay. But I found out that's a lie. We don't need to wait until we have it all figured out. We just need to do something. Take a step, do something. And reinvention doesn't happen because you sit with it. You're sitting in a chair and you say, oh, reinvention, change. I'm going to sit with this. No, reinvention happens because you move on it. And that is why um, uh, Curl Girl asked, what are the steps? Because she wants to move on it. And that's why we're talking about steps, because steps implies action. So taking the steps, moving, what it might mean is you're You might start a side business, or you've got a job, but you might start something on the side. You might take a class. You might update your bio or your profile. You might tell some person, someone, that you're really thinking about doing something. That's what I used as a step um, in starting my business. I started talking it. And at first I was scared, um, but I decided to just tell one person what I was really thinking about doing. And it was a step. But the thing was, I didn't have all my plans together. I didn't have a lot of stuff together when I told this one person what I was thinking about doing. And you know what? The world didn't collapse, nothing. And in fact, me telling this one person, this doing one thing before I was ready, the feedback and inspiration that I got, hey, that propelled me even further. I said, well, maybe this is a bigger, better idea than I really thought. I need to go do this thing. So the point is, you don't have to leap. You just need to move. You understand what I'm saying? Don't make it overwhelming, and you don't have to, you just don't have to do everything at once and be 100% ready. And every step that I've taken in my many reinventions that I've gone through, life transitions, job transitions, new careers, moving from one side of the country to another, all of these transitions, every step that I've taken that's changed my life, it really happened before I felt ready. And that's a big thing. And for those of us who might be overthinkers, I want you to hear this because that was one of the most difficult lessons that we have to learn. I know it was for me. And we don't have to overthink this. We don't need to be perfect. We just need to move. Okay. So let's do a quick recap. It is here. I told you it was raining here. My lights are starting to flash. That storm is definitely here. So I want to do a quick recap before I have to close. Now, stay with me because not only am I going to recap, but we're going to take some questions that you might have. So, the recap. We've talked about the cost of not doing something when you're thinking about reinventing or changing your career. And I know it's a lot to think about, but if you stay in a place that you've really outgrown, you owe it to yourself to make a move. And the 5 steps that I gave you will help you start moving forward. So you want to check your energy, what's filling you up, what's draining you. Try on a new identity. Start showing up like the woman you're becoming. Find your sweet spot where your skills, your joy, and real opportunities meet. That's your sweet spot. Okay. I want to repeat that one. Find your sweet spot. That's where your skills, your joy, and real opportunities meet. Okay. That's very key for you. I want you to pay attention to what comes easy, those natural strengths that you be overlooking them, and do something before you feel totally ready because action does build us this clarity. And um that's how we start. This is how you move. And no, you don't have to do it all at once. I just want you to be intentional with what you do next. And I've given you those steps. You can pick any one of them to do next. And again, so if you need some help in pulling all this together, I've got a free guide for you, the Reinvention Strategic Action Plan. Let me tell you, it's a practical guide. It's step by step. I put many of the things that I've learned, but I made it, real simple. So all you have to do is go through this guide. It's practical. It's not theory. You can grab it right now. You can click the link in the description, or we've got a QR code right here that you can just click on that QR code and get it because it's free. It is. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you today, those 5 steps. Let me see what questions. And again, Clue Girl 41, thank you so much. I hope you're joining me on YouTube again, but I hope that answered your questions about what steps to take this class. Okay. Thank you. So I'm so glad this helped you, Clue Girl. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we've got this question. Here's one. I know I've outgrown my current position, but I still feel paralyzed by self-doubt. What help you move forward beyond overthinking? Well, first of all, let me tell you that I want to say 2 things straight up. First of all, congratulations to you for even thinking about that you can do something more, that you can do something else. That's a big move in itself. So congratulations to you on that and for asking this question. And second, if you feeling self-doubt and you're kind of stuck by it, you don't know what to do, how to move, you ain't alone. Most of us feel that way. Many of us do. I know I do, and I have not stopped feeling that way as I come into new situations. So every time you face a new circumstance, a new transition, a new idea, the thought of moving forward or doing something new, doubt be there. Doubt sit right there with you. And anxiety and what will happen and what if. And these are natural. These are natural. Um, what you want to do is not let doubt be ahead of you or stop you or block you. You want to tell fear that, okay, I'm fear, you there, but you're going to be a side partner. I'm going to do it anyway. So 3 things I'd like you to think about. And that is 1, take a deep breath, acknowledge that what you're feeling is not new or different. Other people go through it and it's going to be okay. Second, I want you to rename that fear. Oftentimes when we label it as I'm scared or doubt myself or it's fear, reframe it into something else. Like instead of I'm scared, reframe it into, this is a new opportunity. I'm really excited. I'm not sure what to do, but I'm excited. So I want you to reframe whatever holding you back emotion you have, because we get those emotions and they're natural. I call them success stoppers. I want you to rename that success stopper. And then the third thing I want you to do is to do something. So you're talking about your current position. Hey, do something. Take a class that can give you a new skill. Uh, Talk to somebody who's doing what you'd like to do or is in a field or industry that you'd like to move to. Do some research. These days, in the comfort of your home, you can pull up your phone and you can Google about new dreams or new industries or things that you would like to do. But here's the thing, the last piece of advice I would leave for you. If you have said to yourself, I've outgrown where I am, that's your signal to do something. So the 5 steps that I've given you, I want you to um, think about them, use them, replay this. You can also go to my YouTube channel. I've got a whole ton of videos and classes that's free, of course, that speak to this issue and the steps you can take. I've got one on career change strategies that could definitely help you. There's lots of information there. You can do it. Okay, so I see our time is running out. I don't know if there are any more questions, but I want to make sure I say hello to those who have joined, who perhaps I haven't said hello to. It's good morning here. So, did I see Dr. Trin? I think I did, calling in from Texas. Eve, hey girl. Hey, Dr. Trin. Hey, Eve. How you doing? Back to you, fabulous. That is Madam Fabulous. That's my girl. How are you? Oh, Rainy in Texas. Yes, yes. Good to see you. Oh, I want to say hello to all of you on TikTok. How you doing? Oh, we have a bunch of folk. I can't call out everybody's name, Linda and Vanity and Jaruna and Joan, but I want to say hi to all of you. Thanks for joining. I want to make sure that Debbie, how you doing, Debbie? It's in Canada. Well, I think you know where I am in Detroit. You know, this is a little trivia. You might not you all ain't probably interested in, but I'm gonna say it. I can look out my window and see Canada. So, Debbie, we are getting that rain, whatever you're getting in Canada. That is, if you're in Windsor, we're getting it here. Um, yes, Dr. Trin, Debbie, thank you all for joining. All of you on TikTok, Brandy. So good to see you watching from YouTube. Love it, love it. Nidra, how are you? I'm so glad you joined. How you doing? Nidra and I have been having some back and forth conversation, some good stuff. I hope you're doing well as usual this morning, this day. Thank you all. LinkedIn user. Uh, yes, yes, yes. Good to see everyone. I'll see you next time. Listen, hey, every Wednesday here at 9 o'clock. Let me know what topics you'd be interested in. If you want to go deeper into things we've talked about, like, how do you find your strengths? How do you do that? Maybe we could do a master class on how to get rid of imposter syndrome, get rid of that doubt, all of that stuff. Whatever it is that you find that you would like some help in, I'm there for you. It's been such a delight being here today. I've enjoyed it. I'm going to see you all soon. I'll see you next week, next Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.